hello. So, we are tapping back in with the Essassani, and I have tried to get out of channeling here for a few times because it's kind of late here, but it's 12:12, so I'm just going to accept that it's time. It's it's what's happening. I understand. We're under contract and this is what's happening. I'm here for it. Yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. Yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. Yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. um, okay, so the SSI are here and they want me to talk about um, how things get restructured. And okay, so how things get restructured. I'm just going to take a minute and kind of focus in because always when I start the technology, it's takes my presence a little bit. I feel like they're laughing at me, but also Archangel Michael really wants to speak too, but the S is on here first. So, but he says he's got a lot to say about the structure too, so I understand. Okay, so the Essassani want me to talk about how the structure is going to be shifting from self-serving to service to others. And what does that look like? And how can that look like? Look is the wrong word. Unfold, bloom. How does it bloom? I like that. How does this new essence bloom as the dominant structure for the collective? And they keep saying that this is it is a spectrum of time. So it's not like we're just gonna wake up one day and everything's gonna be completely different. It is a blooming, and you can understand it as such. How there's different ways that it unfolds or reveals, right? Its full potential. And it really feels like this heart opening happening right now. Okay, so the system is shifting from self-serving to service to others, and it's a process of coming into unity consciousness. However, it will take time. And there's a lot, they said this in the channeling, you said this last time, that there's stuff going around bring matriarchy to the center, or it's the patriarchy's fault, or but really it's really none of this social political stuff. It's more about changing the energy from self-serving to service to others. And it happens, I think they're showing me something. Okay, so for example, right now, service to self, the service to self frequency here is trying to get us to look and feel threatened and look at the self-serving aspects of the depth within our polarized experience right now. And I'm being shown things like the files and war and manipulation. There seems to be an amplification of distrust. Surely. That makes sense, right? There's an amplified field of distress happening. But that's just a choice, they're saying. That's just a choice to focus your energy there. And so that is it is a way of seeing that you are serving the system, self-serving system. They're saying that there's a lot to do with like making conscious choices. So it would be like putting it is like putting children first, but like not even putting children, like putting survivors first. Like there's a great healing. Like there's a great healing that will happen, they're saying. Like I'm trying to explain like how they're showing me. It feels like survivor, but it also feels like vulnerable. So it is like putting your vulnerability first. Yes, leading with your vulnerability. And it's like it is at a personal level, and it is within yourself. This like ability to own all of you, all of it. Own all of the potential within yourself. Because we already know the answers, they're saying. Like we already know the answers at this point, and what's being revealed to us is what already is known. And many people are like, it's not that they didn't know, it's that it was like in the like this like unconscious vein of experiencing here, because as we are being shown, like the messaging was happening. And it will feel like no matter how much is revealed, nothing is changing until this energetic shift happens. Because there's a lot of our creative energy being caught up in like the noise of it all. Like I hear a quote from the Sophia Code from Kuan Yin, and she says, like, you know, that I had to live at the edge of my faith every day. To like walk a new way, to bring a new consciousness awake. And I think that's how I'm interpreting what they're saying around like leading with this vulnerability. How can we focus on this like 0 point knowing, like this very still point? They're like saying like this very still point in your heart here. And like stay out of this, like out of the mind. Because all of the answers are like coming through this blooming of our own knowing. Confusing channel today's, guys. Like, sorry. It's because you're confusing me, but maybe when I listen back it will make sense, because they keep showing me things like that. I'm seeing images. So, and then it's me deciding like how I want to word it for social media. Or for, you know. Okay, so, but they want to think of it, it's not like you're circling around your vulnerable. Like you're not circling around your vulnerability. You're not putting that at the center. And this is what they were saying in the channel before. It's about this blooming outwards. It's like, yes, all energy must come in to the most, like, to support one another. It's about like, it's about like evening out, like even, making it even, equitable. So they're like, that's too much, that's that word does it, it's like, it's too politicized or something. Okay. Yeah, so it is like, how can you tend to your own deepest vulnerabilities? And like, where have you been consistently turning away from yourself for fear that you like won't be loved or accepted, or um and there's like some things that just feel really interesting, so I'll describe this to you. Like, what I'm feeling right now, they're showing me is that like this drive to control body weight, this drive to control the body in order to love oneself, or to be loved, or to be lovable, or to be successful in life or something, is kind of like this way I'm feeling. And I can kind of see it's like these beauty standards, and it's like, but I feel like there's this like sense of maybe restriction or guilt around food or things like this. And it's like, and then I'm seeing like the direct correlation to like others starving outside of myself. This idea that like I can't live to my fullest, not the sense like a live to my fullest as in like take more than I need, but like there's no reason why I can't be satisfied in every moment, all the time. Is that me saying it? That's me saying it. Like, I don't see how there's no like they're like, even, because I can be alive and thriving and safe and in peace and creative and making beautiful things and doing beautiful things, and I don't need very much. Like, I don't need very much. And they're saying like this is part of it, and I'm like, well, thank you, but it still makes me kind of like a very strange human right now. But um and then it's like the journey of just knowing that like everything is here to serve us, and like we can make the conscious choice of where to focus our energy. And if we feel like, well, they're saying that like during this time of transition there is a need, or like there's an act of service that can be done to offer like healing and acceptance, and a space, like creating space for healing, and just offering yourself what's needed to witness and be present with what feels right. Because what is outside of like what we're seeing happening right now is not what we want. Right? The majority of us do not want that. And we're at that critical point where there is like more than a majority of us do not want this kind of like chaotic shadow happening. Like this service to self playground happening. But they're also saying like that as things get revealed, it almost becomes comical, and that and they're not like they're definitely not saying that, like they're not like making it trivial that people are suffering. But it's just like, it's like we can all make the choice right now. And then in my head, I'm like flashing all of the ways that I'm not, that I'm not fully making the choice. But then that's fine, because Archangel Michael is like, you are human and you are there to be human. So like that's part of it. So like don't get caught in your head about it. Thanks, Archangel Michael. Thank you. So don't get caught in your head about it. And it's like I can feel a lot of people being afraid of like what happens when the systems are not functioning the same, or like, in the moment it feels like high pressure. And the Essassani are saying, just think of the high feeling of high pressure as being like power to do what is needed. And like it's going to be kind of confusing because like I can see that like there might be chances where it's like, so like kind of like a scenario is like maybe you can't work as much, or like there'll be like some restrictions maybe on resources that you're not used to, but that will like open up the opportunity for you to focus on what is like that it's not really needed. Okay, now they want to talk about this like identification of needs. And I feel like it plays into this idea of dishonor, which would be the gene key right now, the gene key shadow of dishonor, graciousness, and grace. That's happening, 22 being highlighted. Because like we have such a great power, and it's almost like, you know, it's being afraid of our power that holds us from actually shifting the frequency altogether. But there's like this identification of needs that's going to be happening. So basically it's like there's going to be some kind of like big realizations happening. And like it's interesting because I'm like, well, like the things you're showing me are not super surprising, and I'm not personally, you know, so much into that. But it is just kind of like consumer tendencies totally shifting. And it's like it's going to become like way more localized, and like a big shift of resources. So a redirecting of resources will begin. But it's all like unfolding perfectly. It just takes time. So it's kind of like they're like saying it's kind of like when you heal a wound, like it goes through phases and it doesn't always look good. And sometimes it like, you know, sometimes when your body is actually healing naturally, like it needs kind of to have bacterial flares happen to be able to reconstruct what is needed to be reconstructed. And often we inhibit that by saying like, that was too uncomfortable. And so like holding ourselves in peace through the uncomfortableness as much as we can, like holding ourselves in the knowing that like that we are good, and like that life is good and beautiful, and you know, and give of our love, you know, good things come. Is there anything more I need to say? Yeah, identify. They're just like the better you can identify what you actually truly need in your life. That's what they're saying. The more you'll be able to cut through the noise. And they're even talking about like objects around your house and stuff, like feng shui it up, basically. Yeah, and then we would just start to focus on what we really need. And things will start to open up because we'll just see that we have a lot of creative power. All right, well, thank you to that journey. I'll have to listen back. Do I want to allow to welcome Archangel Michael? He's saying no because that was enough. But he also agrees on this like analogy of how sometimes the body, when the body's healing, it like flares through like more infection. Like the infection has a moment of high heat, and so that things can be restructured, be put back together essentially in a new way or in a better way. That's a better way of putting it. That's a better way of putting it, in a better way. Better. Okay. So, Archangel Michael just really wants us to just feel like that we have everything we need already. We have everything we need already, he's saying. That we already have everything we need. We all hold the keys to what's next, for what's around us. And that the more we can lean into the feeling of what is right and honor that, which requires us to say no to some things. Right? Yes. Yeah. Then things will unfold even quicker. Mm-hmm. Okay, Archangel Michael also just wants me to close out here with whoever's made it through the 21 minutes with me. That it's really time to be careful with your tongue. Like, so that for me is like how you sculpt your words, what you're saying. Like, what are you saying with your mouth? What are you saying with your thoughts? Too, but your mouth is more important, like more powerful. So like just it's like speak love, basically. Like speak what you want to happen truly. Speak that. Otherwise, like keep your peace. Like keep your weapon lowered if you can think of your tongue as your weapon. And so some cautionary like vibrations are like the vibration of like kind of like judgment and opinion, to like just not speak it. But there's some people that are very much here too. So essentially you say, like, if it feels like you should, then do it. But don't get caught in it. So you'll feel it when it feels like it's kind of caught your energy, because you'll have some sort of bad feeling about it. It's essentially that easy. So like if you catch yourself like scrolling or watching something or reading something or thinking about something, and it starts to like make you feel a little anxious or make you feel upset or whatever, then you're going to like take a break and you're going to detach from that and attach yourself to something that is going to be of service to others, and to be to service of whatever vulnerability is brought up by whatever you're consuming that is like triggering this kind of shadow experience within you. It is a lot of like being present with your feelings. So I highly recommend that everybody grounds and like stays grounded and does some meditation for grounding. And I'll probably do some more meditations coming up to help people stay grounded and anchored in to their body and in their knowing. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go to bed now that came through. Peace and love.